It's really a challenge of life to be the best people that we can be. My folks and grandfolks always said, be a kind, good, and decent person wherever you go, whatever you do. Look for the good, and you will find it.
You can look back, and we've always been at the forefront, blazing trails.
There's a deeper sense of big picture here, that this is truly something bigger than me, and I want to be part of it.
The Coeur d'Alene tribe has always been an open arms tribe. They welcome people here, and it's not just natives.
They want people to know who they are and where they've come from, and when you share information like that, the community becomes stronger.
We're modern thinkers, we're a corporation, we're a business, but we still have those traditional values of being the best warriors that we can be for our people.
I don't believe there is a better model for Indian gaming than this one. When you go from 75 to over 2,000 employees, have an economic impact of about $1/3 billion annually on the region, it's a miracle. It's like the miracle on the Palouse. As soon as we got over the hump, then it was, what are we going to do next? How much growth is going to come from this? A first expansion, another expansion, and just keep going and getting a little bit bigger, offering more things for customers to do.
From the very beginning, the golf course was just something that you knew was very special. Played it a few times shortly after opening, and it was just a magnificent layout and setting. And so getting the opportunity to come and actually work here and work for the tribe has opened my eyes even more as to the scope of the involvement of the tribe in the Spokane, North Idaho, Coeur d'Alene area.
Welcome home is our message that we use here to greet people. We invite them to come here to share the best of food, the best of entertainment, then get back to the real world.
There are a family, literally, of people that are working here together, brothers and sisters and moms and dads and cousins and generations that have this profound proudness of what they've created together, and they really do have their hands open, and they really mean welcome home.
I've been here since day one, but there are many others who have been here since day one, and the turnover rate is low because we have leadership, we have management that believes in us. It's just been amazing to think back as to what we did, how we did it, and where we are today.
A customer told me best a few weeks back. He said, I really like the material, the Pendleton designs, the native designs in your fabrics, and the wood and the stone. He said, it seems to signify the return of that great Indian nation that was here since the beginning of time, that you're taking your proper place again. And I think that's probably true. We're always here. We always had the power of humanity. But I think today we're taking our place in society, in modern society, to see what we can contribute, to offer something that we hope might make the world a better place.
Growing up here, you know, we didn't have anything. There was nothing. Jobs were seasonal, and even just the traffic, you know, the traffic coming from 95 was limited.
We were always looking for some means to improve our quality of life. How do we build an economic future and conquer poverty? When you have 50 to 75% unemployment, you can become rather desperate about what are our options. How are we ever going to instill a sense of hope and opportunity in young people?
We found out a long time ago that if we don't do things ourselves, this wasn't going to get done. If we sat back and waited for the United States government, or we waited for anybody else to come in and say, here, tribe, this is going to help you on your road to self-sufficiency, we'd still be waiting. So it was up to us to step forward, and I thought that we needed to do that.
The Coeur d'Alene tribe has always had great leadership, great thinkers from time immemorial, to be able to survive, to be able to overcome a lot of disparity that our tribe has faced.
We were fighting for our well-being. Long ago, our ancestors fought for their well-being, for their own existence, and they were fighting for their beliefs or fighting for their land. This is where they fed themselves and took care of themselves. They had a way. And gaming has provided that for us.
Somebody asked me that question a couple of decades ago. Well, if you're going to do gaming, won't that diminish your cultural practices? I thought about it for half a second and said, well, I think that there is no native culture in a welfare line. or in an unemployment line. But there is wonderful opportunity for culture and enjoying life with a job, with a paycheck, with self-pride, with preservation of home and family. When we looked at the opportunities, where the market is and how can it work here and where, I came to the Tribal Council. They agreed to allow me to do a feasibility study and a market study, where it could be here, how it could work, how many people it would require, what would be the startup cost, and the potential profit. I picked this site where we're at right now. It's kind of a crossroads to Coeur d'Alene and Spokane. Start looking at borrowing money and opening the door.
The state of Idaho is a very conservative state. The reaction when that first request came from the tribe to sit down and negotiate a compact was to call in the legislature and throw out a constitutional amendment banning all casino-type games. And you're kind of going, wow, you know, we just asked for a compact negotiation, and we got hit with the kitchen sink.
I got to travel to pretty much every city in the state of Idaho representing Prop 1 to get the state of Idaho to approve our gaming compact. It was a big challenge, but I felt good about it, that I was fulfilling a great purpose.
Speak from the heart, speak the truth, good things will happen. And that's what the Coeur d'Alene tribe has always done. We've developed our relationships with media that way, with legislators, with governors.
I was interested in anything a tribe wanted to do to increase their economic potential, so I wasn't totally against them being involved in it, but gaming in general was not one of my favorite deals at the time.
You know, talking to Idaho legislators, I asked them, why can't we work together? Why couldn't we be a model for the rest of the nation? Why can't tribal-state relations work in the best interest of their people? Certainly we have some problems, but you know, they're problems that aren't insurmountable.
Governor Batt and other leaders in Idaho respected that. They understood it. We never challenged state sovereignty. We just brought out our own.
Tribal people from all over the state came into my office. I think I was among the very first days I was in office. And they were very skeptical of me, and they wanted to know who would be my Indian people, who would be my Indian desk. I said, I'll be the Indian desk, and I'll meet with you once a month, and I did from then on. And we developed pretty good respect for each other's views at that time.
Then they become champions because they see all the wrongs that have been committed over the centuries, and they say, hey, you know, let's help those people. And in our case, we've had some good champions to stand with us and support us.
When we were preparing to open the facility for day one, grand opening, 96 tribal members applied for the jobs here. I hired every one of them. Many of them didn't really know how to look strangers in the eye and communicate well. I asked how many of you have had a job before. About 2/3 raised their hand. So how many of you have only had a part-time job before? About 1/3 of the hands stayed up. And about 1/3 never had a job before at all.
Day one, we were all, really excited because this is like the best thing that happened in regards to jobs and opportunity. We all kind of knew that this was a new beginning. Dave spoke with us eloquently, as he always does, and said that this is something big and something great. We're part of it.
The Coeur d'Alene Tribe High Stakes Bingo Grand Opening is here Saturday, March 20th. Play $1 million Mega Bingo, $10,000 Progressive Pick 8, $5,000 Progressive Bonanza. Win a new car. Win an all-expense-paid trip or two to Las Vegas. Play $5,000 pull tabs. All my lucky friends will be there Saturday, March 20th at the Coeur d'Alene Tribe's Bingo Grand Opening, 6 miles north of Worley, Idaho on US 95. Because all my lucky friends are playing bingo tonight. Call 1-800-523-BINGO.
We had a letter from the U.S. Attorney in the middle to early 1990s ordering us to cease and desist, remove all our machines. And I said, we're right. They cannot do that to us. Maybe they can find a political way to hurt us, but before God is our maker, we are right in what we are doing, our purpose, our cause, and even our legality. So I recommend we stick to our guns. We negotiate, we talk, we do whatever we have to do to keep the door open, but we stay open.
But the tribe eventually won their hearts. The tribe won their minds in so many ways. And what I appreciated about Idahoans was that Idahoans were saying, it's the Coeur d'Alene tribe's business, what happens on that reservation. And if the Coeur d'Alene tribe can develop on the reservation, then we support it.
When we first opened up, we were having a difficult time financially. Several times we didn't think we were going to make payroll if we didn't have a big weekend. With a lot of prayer, a lot of hard work, and a lot of good luck, we had a big weekend, we made payroll, and now we're this premier destination resort like none other.
Our elders, the people that were 1 or 2 generations from the hunters and gatherers of our tribe, had got up and spoke about, we need to think 10 years, 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, what are we going to do with our money? Are we going to reinvest in our communities? Are we going to invest in health care? Are we going to invest in infrastructure? Are we going to invest in our social services programs?
So the tribe has kind of led the charge in terms of bringing the entire region here into the modern era.
This became the first tribe to become a healthcare provider for the non-Indian public. Nobody ever even thought of that. But they looked at the whole community as being very important in all the needs that they had.
First time that Plummer ever had a little healthcare facility, right? They didn't have a doctor in town. They've never had a nurse practitioner in town. They never had any healthcare right here, ever. So when we opened in 1990, this was the first time that anybody had ever seen medical care down the street.
Well, I think it's vitally important to have fire and EMS that is provided by your own community. Without the money that was given to us by donation from the tribe, we'd still be in an old metal shed trying to provide the services. We've been able to build a new facility, pick up more trucks, pick up better services, provide more services for the community. I think the tribe in their heart, and my feeling is that their heart is to be here for the community, be here to make their life and our life better.
I think even our people don't realize how much we've grown in the services that we brought because of gaming. And we have to talk about it and just keep getting it out there in front of them all the time.
If you take care of the tribe will take care of you. And that's what we have now with gaming, with these dollars.
I don't know that anyone has ever used the term national model as many times as it's applied to the Coeur d'Alene tribe and the things it's done. The BMC is a national model for both Indian healthcare and rural healthcare in what we've been able to do.
We're not done. We already have a vision for phase 5. And brought it to the board, talked about it, it's already on the plate. We hadn't even opened this thing yet, and we're already talking about that. So that's the environment that allows us to think beyond just what we've accomplished and stand around patting ourselves on the back. We're already on to the next venture because the people need us.
The success of our people is not on the face of a dollar bill. The success of our people is the face of our children.
They dedicated themselves to giving a portion of the proceeds to the schools, to other charities, and I understand that's multiplied farther than I ever envisioned it would, and some of it's even going outside of the tribes.
This is our commitment that we're making. This is our traditional way we give back. To this day, we're following through with that commitment. We have about $20 million that we've given out towards education with no real stipulations, just that we want to give to the betterment of our young peoples. And that's our way of giving back.
That commitment to education way back when still echoes today. And not only for our own people, but for all the people. And with the tribe putting that money aside, the payback has been tenfold.
Here at the resort, if you're an employee here, if you want to go to college, we'll pay for it. If you need graduate school, we'll cover that. What business does that? I've never heard of one. And that kind of generosity, that commitment to education extends to everyone here.
That great spirit power for our people is charity. So we try to use that even in this modern world, to be charitable and kind to one another and to our fellow man, that will be our spirit power, be our protection, and what we do will be blessed 10 times over with more prosperity and more success. It's kind of been our secret formula from the beginning of time.
We do what we do because this is where the old ones walked. Those of us who work in Indian country or live in Indian country or are part of Indian country share that wealth, not just of dollars, but of traditions and culture and hospitality.
And I'll have to admit I was a skeptic. But if you took a poll on it now, I think you'd find great approval among the entire state.
I think we have broken that circle of welfare that circle of poverty and all the social dysfunction that goes along with it because of what we have done here. Now we just need to keep it going.
Kids that are 22 years old now, raised on the res, never have not had health care. That's pretty astounding.
It's extraordinary what this tribe has done for their tribe.
We haven't forgotten who we are and why we're here and where we're going, and that is for our people.
And today I see in our people the fulfillment of that great purpose, the opportunity, the hope, the sense of pride to look people in the eye and just speak with confidence. And our children coming up, they're a lot different than my generation was and my parents' generation in terms of capability and functionality in the modern world. They can do anything. I think we're going to see great things come from our children.
I have more kids going to school now, more kids working in their graduate degrees than we've ever had before, and it's because of those seeds that were planted years ago. This tribe will be here forever, and that they'll do a lot of good things yet that are coming after I'm gone.
And I see those young people coming up. You can just tell who the young leaders are going to be. They stand out, but they're very humble. And it's like, keep an eye on this one.
I'm lucky. I'm one of the luckiest guys alive. To do the things that I've done in my life at such a young age, to lead a nation, to lead a people, and to have the people give me that responsibility. The only way I can repay it is to be the best leader I can for these people. I will always take my hat off to our ancestors because they blazed that trail, not only for what we have today, but for me and for what we have for our children and what we have going forward.
My grandfather told me that his grandfather fought with the war club, the knife, and the gun against all comers to protect and preserve what we have here today. He said, today, grandson, you need to learn to fight with the pen and the power of words. I think if they were here today, I hope they would say, job well done. You've taken that pen, you've taken that word, you've taken that education and that paper. You've made a better world for our people. We tried our best.
If you're lost and alone, or you're sinking like a stone, carry on. May your past be the sound of your feet upon the ground. Carry on.